Alright, stop motion progress vlog number 1. It is currently Saturday afternoon, 1:15 p.m. approximately, and I am working to set up a couple of test shots. So right here, this is for a recreation of one of the final scenes from Spider-Man PS4, and so I have a very, very basic custom Spider-Man here that's just made using a Miles Morales torso, and then a few bloodied, bloodied with like pen head and then arm piece, just to give Peter the illusion that he's really banged up and beat up. And then I've got a custom Otto Octavius figure over there. And I'm trying to figure out how to get my webcam set up properly so that I can have both characters in focus. If I go to my camera app here, it's not looking too great now. Granted, the white balance is totally off, or something's been thrown off. I just put these two white sheets right there, so something's really throwing off the color there, so I'm going to have to continue to experiment, but I'm having trouble figuring out exactly how to get both the the Peter character and the Otto character in focus to make it look like this specific scene. So you see in this shot, Peter's kind of like half in frame, only his torso is really in frame, and then he's on one of the diagonals. If you look at this shot as it's composed along the rules of thirds, Peter is on one of the diagonals, and then Otto's kind of, framed on one of the other ones. Otto's almost centered on this big table looking thing. It looks like this is maybe a medical room or a laboratory room in the background. I'm not sure. I'm not going to try to build all of that. This is just going to be a really basic scene using the very limited pieces I have on hand. And so I'm going to have to try to figure out how to make this shot happen, and my goal for right now is just to do basically shot recreations. I'm not going to do much actual animating. I just want to figure out all the different shots that there are, and try to see about recreating all of them, and then maybe once I get the actual framing figured out, I can go back and start some basic animation tests. But the framing is going to be definitely the most important part. I can't do too much with lighting right now, and my facial animation is going to be relatively limited. I don't want to do digital facial animation just to start out with, so I've been getting together a couple of different Lego face kind of totems here of the different facial expressions that I have available to me. Again, I'm very limited, but so hopefully if we can, so I've got like one set for Peter, one for Otto. Otto's just so happens to have a bunch of orange eyebrows because I, for some reason, had a bunch of those in some of the custom figures that I brought. And unfortunately, I'm pretty limited. I definitely want to use this one for Peter, but I don't have any really good, like, just distressed and anxious faces, because that's basically what all of the faces in this shot are. Or what most of the faces in this scene are, because it's a very emotionally charged scene, which is part of the reason why I want to recreate it. And hopefully, like I'll be pulling all of the sound and voice acting from this original scene and just dropping it into the clip. So hopefully that can do most of the heavy lifting, but I want to at least try to replicate all of the shot compositions as closely as possible, and then maybe worry about some clean animation later. But ooh, there's a giant spider on me.